Russia's defense ministry says the Russian army has attacked the infrastructure of Ukrainian military airfields, the energy facilities of its military-industrial complex, workshops for the production of unmanned aerial vehicles, concentrations of enemy manpower and military equipment and other targets. Russia's defense ministry says its air defense systems intercepted multiple Ukrainian air bombs, rockets, missiles and multiple drones. Meanwhile, Ukraine says its forces were taking all measures to stop the Russian army from advancing, with the most intense battles occurring in Pokrovsk and Kurakovsk directions. At least 13 civilians were injured as a result of Russia's airstrikes on southeastern city of Zaporizhzhia. Ukraine's Interior Ministry said rescuers evacuated residents from several damaged apartment buildings. The ministry said, according to preliminary information, Russia used its guided aerial bombs to strike Zaporizhzhia. Zaporizhzhia Governor Ivan Fedorov said that in total Russia conducted 363 air and ground strikes in the past day on 12 settlements in the region. Amid tight security, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky visited an ammunition factory in Scranton in Pennsylvania to thank the workers who are producing one of the most critically needed munitions for Ukraine's fight to fend off Russian forces on ground. The Scranton plant is one of the few facilities in the United States to manufacture 155mm artillery shells and has increased production over the past year. Ukraine has already received more than 3 million of them from the United States. Zelensky said he expressed his gratitude to all the employees at the plant. Black plumes of smoke were seen rising near the Israeli border with southern Lebanon after the Israeli army announced it was conducting several strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. This comes after Hezbollah fired over 100 rockets across northern Israel on Sunday as it launched hundreds of counter-strikes. Kamala Harris is expected to roll out details of her economic plans later this week and is pushing for a new debate next month. Harris has urged Trump to accept a proposal to debate on CNN on the 23rd of October as a follow-up to their September 10th debate on ABC. Speaking to supporters at a North Carolina rally, Trump said it was too late for another debate because early voting has already started in some states. In San Francisco, thousands of hospitality workers have gone on strike demanding better wages and protesting pandemic-era staffing cuts. Workers from hotels like Hilton Union Square, Palace Hotel, Westin, St. Francis and Grand Hyatt participated, citing a 50% reduction in workforce, leading to heavier workloads. According to local reports, around 1,500 workers participated in the 24-hour protest, marching in shifts. Workers complained on the increased duties without fair compensation. They claim that they are determined to fight for improved conditions. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is on a 3-day visit to the United States, held a roundtable meeting with the CEOs of leading American tech companies in New York. Highlighting India's growth prospects, Prime Minister Modi discussed initiatives to foster bilateral collaborations across various sectors. According to a statement released by the Ministry of External Affairs, the meeting entailed discussions on cutting-edge areas of artificial intelligence and quantum computing, biotechnology and life sciences, computing, IT and communication, and semiconductor technologies. In a big relief for German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, his Social Democrats are set to finish ahead of the far right in Brandenburg state election results. As per exit polls published by state broadcaster ARD after polling concluded in Brandenburg. The Social Democratic Party or the SPD with around 32% was slightly ahead of the far right, the Alternative for Germany with 29% of the vote. This comes after the far-right AfD secured majority of the votes in the state of Thuringia while finishing second in Saxony, in regional polls held on the 1st of September. Mexico's ruling Morena party elected Interior Secretary Luisa Maria as its new leader. She will be tasked with helping consolidate disparate wings of the Morena movement without its founder, López Obrador. Since López Obrador founded Morena in 2011, the party has soared in popularity to become an electoral juggernaut, governing 23 of the country's 32 states and has made large majorities in both chambers of the Congress. Bolivia's pro-government supporters and security forces violently confronted protesters loyal to former President Evo Morales in the city of El Alto, overlooking Bolivia's capital. The protesters and counter-protesters hurled firecrackers, small dynamite bombs and stones at each other, even as riot police unleashed tear gas into the crowds. This is the second such violent escalation this week as fears grew of further unrest in the Andean nation. South Korea says it would take decisive military action if anyone is killed by the wave of trash-carrying balloons being launched across the border by North Korea. It claimed that Pyongyang has sent more than 5,500 balloons carrying payloads of garbage since May, disrupting flights, causing fires, and even hitting government buildings in the south. North Korea has maintained that the tactic is a response to activists in the south sending balloons carrying propaganda to the north. Anurakumara Dissanayake has taken oath as Sri Lanka's new president. The left-leaning Dissanayake has promised to rewrite history for a country that is still recovering from its worst economic crisis. Dissanayake is the 9th executive president of Sri Lanka after securing victory in a historic runoff election. The National People's Party leader defeated his closest rival, Sajid Premadasa of the SJB, during the second round of voting. Argentina Foreign Minister Diana Mondino has said her country will not join the United Nations Pact for the Future, which the General Assembly adopted on Sunday. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres described the agreement as a step change towards more effective, inclusive, networked multilateralism. The pact, which also includes working towards a responsible and sustainable digital future, was adopted without a vote at the start of a two-day summit of the future. It lays out some 56 broad actions that countries pledged to achieve. The agreement came after some 9 months of negotiations. Russia, backed by allies Belarus, North Korea, Iran, Nicaragua and Syria, objected to the pact, but it was adopted without their support. Protesters marched through the Brazilian city of Sao Paulo calling for measures to tackle climate change and criticized the farming industry in the country. The protest was part of a series of mobilizations that started across the country and were called by organizations such as Greenpeace, Brazil and Jovens Pelo Clima, among others. At the Summit of the Future being held at the United Nations, Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said the goals of reaching sustainable development were at risk of becoming a large collective failure. According to local reports, the pro-environment protests are set to continue until October. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation to expand the ban on plastic grocery bags. The state banned plastic bags in 2014 but allowed stores to offer consumers thicker bags that were said to be reusable. According to reports, the new law, which goes into effect in January 2026, focuses only on checkout bags rather than plastic used to package food. Activists say the move solidifies California as a leader in tackling the global plastic pollution crisis. SpaceX plans to launch about 5 uncrewed Starship missions to Mars in 2 years, according to CEO Elon Musk. Earlier this month, Musk had said that the first Starship to Mars would launch in 2 years when the next Earth-Mars transfer window opens. The CEO said that the first crewed mission timeline will depend upon the success of uncrewed flights. If the uncrewed mission lands safely, crewed missions will be launched in 4 years. However, in case of challenges, crewed missions will be postponed by another 2 years.
The first stage booster now on its way to attempt landing on just read the instructions.
South Korean electronic manufacturer Samsung Display Co. plans to invest $1.8 billion for a factory this year in northern Vietnam. The plan is to produce OLED displays for more automobiles and technology equipment. Vietnam has over the last decade emerged as one of the most attractive production hubs for electronic companies. Samsung has established 6 manufacturing plants, 1 research and development center, and 1 sales entity in Vietnam, with a cumulative investment of $22.4 billion. Oil prices rose in early Asian trade. Prices were buoyed by concerns that heightened conflict in West Asia may curtail regional supply. Expectation that an outsized U.S. interest rate cut supported demand and also helped keep prices buoyed. Brent crude oil futures now trade above $75 a barrel, but is still much lower than analysts' forecast of $85 a barrel for 2024. China's National Security Ministry has accused Taiwan military-backed hacking group Anonymous 64 of launching cyber attacks against Chinese targets. In response, Taiwan's Defense Ministry has dismissed the claims and has labeled China as the real aggressor due to its cyber attacks and military pressure. According to China, Anonymous 64 has been attempting to broadcast anti-China content on websites, public screens, and TV networks since the start of the year. Taiwan, in turn, regularly accuses China of cyber attacks and spreading disinformation. As per reports, the U.S. Commerce Department is planning to propose prohibiting Chinese software and hardware in connected vehicles due to national security concerns. The Biden administration has raised serious concerns about the collection of data by Chinese companies on U.S. drivers and infrastructure. Additionally, the possibility of foreign entities manipulating connected vehicles, potentially leading to safety risks or disruptions, that's also another concern for the United States. According to a survey by All About Cookies, an online privacy and digital security company, most Americans think Elon Musks X is the least trustworthy big tech company in the market. Amazon, Google, and Netflix got voted the top 3 most trusted tech companies with 70%, 65%, and 64% votes each. Despite TikTok facing a potential ban in the United States, around 29% of Americans trust TikTok. That's a percentage higher than Musk X. Only 28% of the respondents say that they trusted X. A Chinese car company is developing a new vehicular communication system. It's called Vehicle to Everything, or V2X, to improve road safety and traffic efficiency. This will reduce pollution and enable advanced autonomous driving. V2X systems enable vehicles to exchange data with various elements in their environment, including other vehicles, pedestrians, infrastructure, and networks. It uses real-time interactive data to achieve safe and efficient operations to intelligence-connected vehicles.